plaintiffs in the Michael Jackson wrongful death trial called their last witness today. The singer's mother, Katherine Jackson, took the stand, and it was an emotional day in court. KCAL9's Randy Page live at the courthouse. He has details on what she told those jurors. Randy?
That's right, Sandy. You know, Katherine Jackson has been sitting in the front row of this trial quietly ever since this trial began. And today, for the first time, the jurors actually got a chance to hear what she had to say. Katherine Jackson was called to the witness stand today by her attorneys as the closing witness for her case. When asked why she brought the lawsuit, she testified, "I want to know what really happened to my son." She also said it hasn't been easy. The most difficult thing is to sit in this court and listen to all the bad things they say about him. A lot of the things they said are not the truth. He's not here to speak for himself. The jury was then shown a series of photographs and videos while Michael Jackson's life was recounted through his mother's eyes. From the early years raising 9 children in this 4-room home in Gary, Indiana, captured on home movies, to the rise of the Jackson 5, through Michael Jackson's solo career,
Michael Jackson,
including Jackson's performance on the 1973 Academy Awards when he was 14 years old.
We both found what we were looking for.
After watching this clip, Katherine Jackson testified she felt very proud.
I'll never be alone.
When asked how Jackson's 3 children are handling his death, the Jackson matriarch testified, "Paris is having the hardest time. She went to the morgue and put half of a heart necklace around her father's neck, then put the other half on her. She wanted to go where Daddy was." Katherine Jackson then testified this note in Michael Jackson's handwriting was found after his death, which concludes, "All my success has been based on the fact that I wanted to make Mother proud, to win her smile of approval." When asked how did that make you feel, Katherine Jackson responded, "I cried," saying later, "The worst thing that can happen to a person is to lose a child. And when I lost Michael, I lost everything." After lunch, when being cross-examined by AEG attorney Marvin Putnam, Katherine Jackson turned to the judge and said something quietly. And then the judge dismissed the jury and said come back on Monday so she could finish her testimony. What happened this afternoon to your client? Why was she unable to continue?
She had a few hours of sleep last night. Despite counsel trying to mock her for being nervous, she was very nervous, as anyone would be testifying in a courtroom, and she was tired. And counsel said if she's tired to tell him, and she did.
AG attorneys did not have much of a chance to get into their cross-examination before things ended today. They'll be back on Monday morning to finish their cross-examination. Live in downtown Los Angeles, Randy Page, KCAL9 News.
I want to move on now, Alan, to Katherine Jackson taking the stand. I'm sure it will be extremely emotional for her. She's been front row throughout the court session, right?
Yes, just about every day she's been sitting very close to the jury. They've seen her cry, they've seen her laugh, they've even heard her speak a little bit, but they're going to hear her tell the story of her son's life, how close he was to her, how he was as a father, because you see, these jurors, if they decide that AEG Live had some liability in Michael Jackson's death, they're going to have to decide how much the company is going to have to pay.
What's this I hear about attorneys arguing in the hallway? And you witnessed that?
Yeah, of course, they're supposed to argue in the courtroom, but it spilled over to the hallway this week after the AEG Live lawyers brought up the child molestation charges against Michael Jackson. It got pretty tense. And in the hallway, there were some words between the 2 lead lawyers. The clerk of court had to come out and break them up, threatening to call a bailiff. The next morning, the judge lectured them in her chambers and then told reporters, don't talk to the lawyers in the hallway, because kind of suggesting that the fact that we talk to the lawyers in the hallway might heat things up, and she wants to keep things calm.
Michael Jackson's mother, Katherine, took the stand on Friday for the first time, testifying in her wrongful death lawsuit against AEG Live. She told the court that it was devastating to hear witnesses call her son lazy and a freak, and that she never thought Conrad Murray was the appropriate doctor for her son. The trial is now in its 12th week and is expected to last the rest of July.
Katherine Jackson took the stand today in the wrongful death trial of her late son, Michael Jackson. The most difficult thing to do is sit here in this courtroom and listen to all the bad things they say about my son, she told a jury on the 12th week of testimony in her case against AEG.